Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. This is Dylan with Tucson Future Classics, and that is our 2014 Chevy Volt. You all are never going to believe what happened. That's right, we got ourselves another first-generation Chevy Volt. We here at Tucson Future Classics know these things and love these things. This is probably the 24th one of them we've had, and we're not going to stop buying them. Every time we find a good one, we snatch it up because these are great values in the secondary market. And they have proven to be stalwartly reliable cars. This particular one has got 118,000 miles on it. It appears to have been quite well maintained throughout its life. Looking at the Carfax starting life down in the greater San Diego area as a lease, it then got bought out before making its way to Arizona and eventually to us. A few things after seeing enough of these that I love to look for is stuff like this. This is shod in Michelin Primacy AS tires. These are fantastic long life tires and they're fairly fresh. That date code 42 of 22, 42nd week of 2022, meaning these were probably put on in 2023, meaning two and a half years on this car, which is nothing for a good set of Michelins. Somebody clearly spent money on this car, and it shows. Now, for the cosmetics, the Southwestern Sun has spent some time and done its thing. We've got fading there. All along the roof, you can see the paint starting to fade up there, and a little bit along the hood and the plastic. So, cosmetically, it's not the prettiest Volt, but mechanically and driving experience-wise, this thing still kicks butt. When GM built these, they didn't really know how the public would react to an electric-first plug-in hybrid. This is the first one to the market. So they overbuilt the ever-loving crap out of these things. It's got a 16.5 kilowatt-hour battery pack in it, which you only get to use 10 kilowatts of. The rest of it is a reserve to keep the battery in its most efficient thermal and voltage range. So it's got a big buffer on both ends. You're really only using like 20 to 70 on this battery. So the degradation on them over time is way lower than a lot of dedicated EVs or plug-in hybrids that will use the full pack. The little 1.4 liter generator motor up front, really efficient, only kicks on when you run out of battery and you need it to be there. And to make it the most efficient possible, they put a clutch pack in it so it engages a 1-to-1 ratio to the front wheels at high-speed highway driving, because in that specific instance, the gas engine will be more efficient. It's a super cool little car. I can't wait to nerd out on this thing with you guys. Let's get inside. Up here under the hood of the Volt, every time you have the car on and you pop the hood, it will fire up the engine for a maintenance or service mode, so you can kind of hear it run and keep tabs on everything. A lot of people can be really intimidated by plug-in hybrids and stuff, but they kept this system pretty simple and just divided it fairly evenly. So here on the passenger side, this is the coolant reservoir for your internal combustion engine, the generator engine. This is the engine's air filter. Check your oil here, add your oil there. These two coolant reservoirs up front, this one is for the high voltage battery pack, and this one is for the inverter and drive motor unit, which are right down there under all this spaghetti. This here is the brain box and some relays for that Voltec inverter, drive unit, and gearbox. Behind it there is your brake fluid reservoir. You've got a fuse box here. The negative terminal and the positive terminals to jump start it are up here in case you ever need to do that. And anecdotally, a lot of people worry about the complexities of these systems. About 2 weeks ago, I just bought my own wife a 2013 Volt with 194,000 miles on it. I trust these cars that much, and you should too. Right here in front of the driver's door is your charge port. It's a standard J1772 plug, and the original Voltec wall charger is in the back of this car as well. So that's where you put in your electricity. Getting into the back of the Volt here, you'll see it is a lift back, which gives you a surprisingly large cargo area for a car of this size. You've got that split back seat and that 2+2 all bucket seat configuration. And down here under the floor, you've got your original Voltec charger. This one is your standard 110 or 120 volt wall outlet there. And this plugs right in up front where I showed you. This thing will charge it on level 1 in about 10 hours. So normal overnight, treat it like a cell phone, plug it in when you're done with it, unplug it and drive away on electricity. Or if you have a level 2, it'll do it in about 2.5 to 3 hours. You've also got the tire inflator and fix-a-flat goo kit here. Up underneath these little covers here is the 12 volt accessory battery. And if you see there, 24, this battery was replaced in 2024, which is really recent for these volts because the high voltage system maintains charge on the 12 volt battery. These are pretty notorious for having their 12 volt batteries last a good long while. And finally, you've got a little Velcro strip here for holding stuff in place. And the previous owner was nice enough to leave you a complimentary set of jumper cables in case you or somebody else ever needs them. Now, these back seats do fold flat. There are buttons on the side. See, a little orange pops up and they fall right down. Now, the cool thing about this being that split bucket, that console stays below the height of the seats and you have a nearly level load floor to swallow up some really big stuff. You could easily fit a appliance or two back here into the back seat of the Volt. I'm going to give you all a worst case scenario. I'm going to sit behind my own driver's seat. So I'll spin the camera around. You'll see I am 6'1", 270 pounds. I'm not a small dude, but I have fairly decent knee room. I've got good headroom because of the way the glass kicks up here, and good shoulder and gut room. This around, you'll see this center console back here's got 2 cup holders, charge port, and 2 storage cubbies, one of which has my sunglasses. And like most every car now, you've got your child seat anchors integrated into the bottoms of these rear seats. So honestly, if you've got 2 kids, these rear buckets make a really good place to lock in child seats. You also get pretty deep door pockets with water bottle cutouts and seat back pockets behind driver and passenger. Climbing into the captain's seat here, before I shut the door, big pocket here. This is good for like a big Nalgene or a Yeti water bottle. You've got your power windows and power mirrors here, and your power door locks are on the center console. So let's get this thing fired up. Go through its startup animation, mute the radio. All right, now that we're in our little spaceship, this flickering will continue because I cannot get my frame rates to sync, but this screen again does not flicker in real life. It's just my camera. So here on the side, you've got a menu selector, which will go through all of your center console menus. There we go. If I give it an angle, it flickers less. But long and short, there's a ton of information in here. And one thing I want to point out is this, if it will stay and not flash. There we go. Over the last 16,000 miles, this car has burned 66.7 gallons of gas and got an average of 244.7 miles per gallon. These things are riotously economical if you run them predominantly on electricity. It's really, really great. Now here on the steering wheel, you've got your cruise control controls here to the left. You've got your infotainment controls here on the right. And the only other things of note are your usual wiper stalk here, headlights over here, automatic headlights on this, and a fun thing on these, if you don't want to use your big horn, you've got a pedestrian alert horn, because these predate the federal regulations saying that you need to have an outside alert noise at speeds under 20 miles an hour in EVs. So kind of a neat little touch GM did there. Moving on to the main infotainment screen here in the middle. Go back to the home screen. This one has got AM, FM, XM. If you have connectivity, you can hit like Pandora, Stitcher, all that stuff. But 2013 was the first year of Bluetooth line in on these, and this being a 2014 means you can use Bluetooth media. So that's a pretty nice thing to have on here. There's a bunch of nerdy little stuff in this main menu. And like, honestly, I'll just let you all explore it when you come to check it out. But config here lets you tackle everything. And because this is an older system, I'll show you really quick. You go to phone settings, Bluetooth, and you can pair your devices right through there. And then you have phone calls and Bluetooth media on here. Another noteworthy thing in here is your energy display. If you hit the little leaf, it'll show you your current battery power and where it's going in real time. Battery to the wheels, engine to the wheels, regen braking, all of it. Charging will show your approximate times to fully charge if you plug in now. Level allows you to adjust 8 or 12 amps on a 110 volt standard wall charger. And then mode lets you change when it takes electricity. So immediately delayed based on departure time, so it's at full charge when you're ready to go, or you can delay it based on your utilities to take advantage of off-peak cheap electricity. And this energy info screen shows a lifetime fuel economy of 71.7 miles per gallon over all 117,000 miles of this car. And on my driving today to run some errands and go shooting, I've gone 13.4 miles all on electricity, used 6.2 kilowatts of juice, and in the time I spent with the hood open, idling, and doing some shots of the engine running, it burned 0.17 gallons, less than 0.2 of a gallon. So a really, really efficient thing, and it'll even show you your driving style and climate settings, how that's affecting your efficiency. Speaking of climate settings, touch the haptic buttons here, and it pulls up your climate screen. So like most efficiency-minded vehicles, you have eco and comfort for different HVAC settings, but honestly, with this thing, on a hot southwestern day, set it to comfort, use these to plug in the temperature you want, hit auto, and just let it go. It'll scream for a few minutes while it brings the temperature down. I'm going to turn it down so you can hear me better. But it'll scream for a few minutes while it brings the temperature down, and then it'll maintain your desired temperature as efficiently as possible while you drive. Now, to change your audio, you've got source here. I have the radio off because I don't want to get copyright struck. But if I press this knob here, that'll turn it on. So we've got FM, XM, Bluetooth audio, and AM. And this is a working CD tray. So this does have a CD player as well, if you got some of those for backups. Moving down a little bit further, drive mode here goes through your 4 drive modes. Make this play nice. Only difficult thing about shooting these cars. So you've got normal, sport, those are pretty self-explanatory. Mountain gives you an extra buffer on both sides of the battery if you're climbing particularly hilly terrain, and it will kick that gas motor on if you're below that threshold. So now the engine's going to work like a generator. Or you have hold state of charge mode, which is not currently available because the engine is idling and generating. But when that is available, what that will do, now it's available, what that will do is allow you to hold your battery wherever it is, drive on gas, and then switch back to electricity at a later time. Really nice if you're driving somewhere that has really bad traffic, like from here up to Phoenix, and you want to use gas on the highway and then electricity where it's most efficient in stop and go traffic. Moving down, it's pretty standard fare Prindle here. One nice thing is low in this car functions almost like one pedal driving. It gives you aggressive lift off regen to maximize your recovered electricity. You've got a pass through that runs all the way on both sides here. Great place to keep your phone out of the sun. Note to the future owner, do not place your phone standing up here, because when you try to shift into drive, it will catch the top of your phone on the bottom of this and you won't be able to move the handle. Ask me how I know. Another nice thing on these is up top, you've got a little storage cubby here that has a 12-volt cigarette lighter charge port in it. A pretty deep glove box is currently full of a bunch of stuff. So the factory books, our dealer plate is behind this, and my detailing rags, but you can fit a lot in there. And then here in the center, 2 cup holders, big center console with another 12-volt cigarette lighter style port. You've also got your auxiliary line in and a USB line in there as well. Other than that, like I said, these cloth seats are some of the more plush seats you could get on these, and the cloth stays remarkably cool even in the direct desert sun. But let's get driving. All right, coming down out of the parking garage, I've got it in low. All the windows are open, so you will be able to hear all the noises that this thing doesn't make. I'm actually going to spin around this level really quick before going down. But electric first, man. It's just good. You hear those little clicks. That is the electric motor transitioning from power to regen, because I have it in L, so it'll automatically kick on regeneration when I let off of the brake or let off of the gas. Now, we know EVs are going to be pretty quiet. This one is no exception. But let's see. Feed it a little throttle. A little friction brake there. Good. And when I knock it in reverse, you'll notice it's going to chirp at me a couple times. And we just put a new backup camera in this thing, so you get a little bit more resolution than it would have otherwise had. So I'm going to back it up. We do have parking sensors. They are engaged. And let's say I'm not doing that great of a job. I'm not paying that close of attention to exactly what's behind me. This system is actually sensitive enough to pick up the parking cables, and you'll see that little triangle moves in the screen and warns you when you're right about to back into stuff. So, nice peace of mind and pretty clever stuff, especially from the mid-2010s. For this being based off of a Chevy Cruze, you would never know it. It is a remarkably quiet and stable platform that doesn't seem like it would be built on a smaller, like compact or mid-sized car. That is kind of the worst case scenario for noise in one of these. Closing in on 80 miles an hour, highway speed, engine running, HVAC going, and it's still a really quiet place to be. Staged up here at the end of one of my favorite little stretches of mostly abandoned dead-end road here in Tucson. I've got traction control and stability track off. We are in sport mode. We're going to do a 0 to 40 to 0 to show you all there's nothing hiding in the brakes or suspension system under full accelerative or decelerative load. Now, these little electric motors have pretty good dig out of the hole, but let's see what it does. 3, 2, 1. 40. ABS right to a stop. This thing's got great tires on it, and the ABS just reels you right in with no drama at all. Here's a pretty good idea of, you know, your more normal urban or suburban commuting, doing like 35 to 45 here on, well, this is Main Street here in Tucson, so taste of what it's going to feel like when you're not, you know, bombing down the highway. It's a pretty quiet place to be. Just up ahead is some really broken up pavement. Yeah, that stuff is pretty rough even in like an SUV, truck, or a big squishy minivan. So the fact that a compact plug-in hybrid soaks up the bumps like that goes to show that Chevy really did turn their engineering team up to 11 when they built this thing. There you have it. Back at our little lot, wrapping everything up on our 2014 Volt. Now, when I said we know and love the Volts, I wasn't kidding. We've got 2 more Gen 1s over there, a second gen, a Prius Prime hybrid, and over here, that is my wife and I's very own 194,000 mile Volt. So, yeah, we like them, and you will too. They're cheap to insure, cheap to run, pretty low cost for what you're getting in the secondhand market here. And they're just really, really good cars. By far the best screwed together car General Motors has made in the last like 20 years. So to check this thing out, see how you like it and get a feel for it, follow the link in our description below, or call or text the phone number that's about to be on screen to set up an appointment. I can't wait to show you around this thing. And as always, I've been Dylan. We'll see you soon.